I hope no one minds. I made myself at home.
Don't mind at all. It's good to have you. Tell us a bit about yourself, Giada.
Let's see. A few things about me. I enjoy long conversations. My favorite season is autumn. Apparently, I also snore, which annoys some people.
So do I. Glad it won't just be me now. We should pitch our tents on either side of Marius. The drone really helps him sleep.
Right, that's me. And the first rule of camp is never listen to Kai. He's a blessed Nimdude of the highest order.
If anyone needs their soul tinkered on, don't hesitate to ask. I'm rather good with souls.
I'll take your word for it.
Thank you again for letting me join you. An animancer never misses an opportunity to embrace the unknown. Still, being an animancer feels different without Fior Messiverno. For the first time, I don't have to prove myself to anyone. It'll take some getting used to, that's for sure. At least now I have a place I can call my own. Believe me, that's plenty. Not to change the topic, but this little adventure of ours, will it be dangerous? A little bit of trouble in moderation can be good for the soul. My mother and father taught me how to defend myself, among other things. When you need me, I'll be ready. I hope so, anyway. Anything in particular? Ah, you want a story? Very well. Settle in. It all started about 50 years ago, in the great city of Spirento. A young nobleman by the name of Maxim Vidaro sought to inherit a distinguished government position. A distant cousin cheated Maxim out of the title. He was devastated. his political future uncertain. No one lifted a finger to help. Not the banks, not the merchants, or the politicians. So, Maxim did what Valians do best. Maxim plotted his revenge. They say he prayed to Scan, the effigy, god of rebellion and defiance, to ask for a blessing. And Scan answered. Take their best and brightest, their heirs, their scholars, their futures, to the far side of the world, never to return. And Maxim did just that. He gathered a following and left the Valian republics, giving thanks to his dark god. Spirento was full of animancers, many of them in debt, and Maxim was a wealthy patron. They needed each other. So the animancers followed Maxim all the way out here, including my parents, Quilici, and others around town. At the time, this place was an animancer's dream. No oversight, limited government, and soil rich with essence. 40 years later, Maxim vanished. They say the effigy came to collect his soul. Of course, you and I know better. He died peacefully, content that what he made would outlast him. His son has been in charge ever since, for better or worse. I have good reason to be critical, but I also know his life isn't as easy as it looks. He and I might squabble in public from time to time, but we're both just figuring it all out as we go. Thanks for listening. We should do this again.
I love a good ghost story. Just not the dreams I have afterwards.
Hadn't heard all that before. Probably a lesson or two in there.
One of these days you'll have to tell me an Adiran ghost story. You learn a lot about people by what scares them. Let me think. Quilici has a girlfriend, as cute as a button, and as smart as an archmage. That isn't a secret. I'm just happy for him. Have you heard of the incident at Beldereno Pass? 20 settlers lost their lives in a winter storm. Ever since, people have heard ghostly cries from a nearby cave. Fascinating, isn't it? Tragic, of course, but fascinating. Sorry to disappoint you, but I haven't heard anything new of late. Being an outcast means being out of the loop. What are you so curious about? Anyone in particular? I warn you, I'm not the best judge of first impressions. Kai is a useful fellow. We need people like him to keep you grounded. Just not too grounded. On the surface, Kai is all charm and confidence. You feel good knowing he's around. But there's something deeper. Something in his core that he guards from everyone. Maybe even himself. Oh, not at all. Kai is a sweetheart. And if that's who he chooses to show us, then that's who he is. If there's another side to him, he'll show us when he's good and ready. No need to rush a natural process. Marius is working through something. An old wound that hasn't healed. A search for forgiveness? Who knows? He's a tough fellow, but I wouldn't put too much pressure on him. We're all wounded. That's the price of survival in the living lands. Just look at you. Only just got here and you died in the line of duty. You may not be from the living lands, but the island left you a scar to remember. Now, you're just like us. We haven't been together long, but I think I have you figured out. In Paradise, you have a reputation for being an unlawful misfit. This is the frontier, after all. We don't exactly do things by the book. Your Messiverno tolerates you well enough. No doubt thanks to my influence. Of course, all I know is what you've done. You may not think these choices reflect who you are. At the end of the day, you shouldn't care what anyone thinks. All that matters is how you see yourself. I've spilled all the gossip I know. Ask me again when there's a new face in camp. I suppose you deserve to know, after what I put you through. My mother wanted to expand Fiore's agriculture. Feeding Emerald Stair wasn't ambitious enough. She wanted to feed the world. She thought she could break the wilderness, using animancy as the whip. Turn the living lands into a garden. Anything's possible, but there are significant problems to overcome. After my father put the finishing touches on the phantasmal focus, she was impatient to get started. After all, whoever controls the spirit of the living lands has nature in the palm of their hand. Indeed, a world run by animancy. Emerald Stair was just the beginning to her. My father thought she was brilliant. Others thought she was mad. I think she was a victim of her own ambition. She wanted so much and there was so little time to achieve it. Theoretically, her plan should have worked. But the living lands had other ideas. When she used the phantasmal focus, theory collided with reality. Everything went wrong. No. To my knowledge, the accident was no everyday occurrence. But neither was the experiment. My mother transgressed on nature, on existence itself. Still, I don't understand what went wrong. When I do, then I can finish her work. I can't rule anything out, but I suspect the Dream Scourge had something to do with it. It lives in the essence of the living lands, corrupting whatever it touches. And if I'm right, that means it's been here a long time. Or the forces behind it. I was 17. That makes it... Gods, has it been 13 years already? After they died, I wouldn't go near a lab. It was ages before Quilici got me to crack open a book. I have a lot of catching up to do in my studies. Need to make up for lost time. It's just a tool. Even a wool scarf is dangerous in the wrong hands. Besides, studying a pillar of Adra is not the same as prying apart the fabric of the living lands. My mother learned that the hard way. That's all I care to say for now. At least, about this topic. I thought my family's research could help Emerald Stair. That it could banish the Dream Scourge from our lands. Of course, Vidaro wouldn't even give me a chance. He was afraid of history repeating itself. Still, I'm hopeful. This legacy of mine could change Animancy as we know it. And something tells me I'm close to a breakthrough. Closer than my mother ever got. Good question. The idea of finishing my parents' work gives me a warm feeling. But do I want it? I know I've got one lifetime, and I want to do something with it. Very good. You know your metaphysics. This is the one life where I am Giada Castel, Animancer extraordinaire. In the next life, I could be an idiotic tree. I have an obligation to use the time I have. No Animancer has engineered an ecosystem before. Maybe, with a little luck, I could be the first. That little island off of Dawnshore? None that I know of. Ignato Casto led the Valian Trading Company in the Deadfire Archipelago. Among other things, he invested in the future of Animancy, and apparently he had interests here. I hope not. I wouldn't want my family associated with speculation, corruption, and whatever else happened in the Deadfire. We have enough problems already. He had some ideas about moving great distances in the blink of an eye. As far as I know, he was unsuccessful. Animancy and ambition are a dangerous mixture. Intoxicating, but dangerous. Afraid not. I've heard a lot of contradictory stories coming out of the Deadfire in recent years. Some say Castle is still in power, while others think his second-in-command took over the Valian Trading Company. You know how it is. Wherever there's conflict, there's bound to be misinformation. Unfortunately, that's all I know. Whether or not Castle succeeded, I don't think it's folly to dream. Now that you mention it, I did try and awaken my soul to become fully aware of my past lives. Every Animancer tries and fails. It's practically a rite of passage. So, one evening, I crept into the workshop and cobbled an invention together from spare parts. Amateur work. Then I turned it on. Big mistake. The next thing I knew, it was morning. I was floating in the fountain, and my head was pounding like a drum.
You don't need animancy for that. Just rum and a crew on shore leave.
That answers a lot of questions, honestly.
Sometimes I wonder, what if it actually worked? What if all of this happened before, and I'm just reliving the events of a past life? I try not to think about it too much. A simple question with a very complicated answer. The device is attuned to the spiritual energy of the living lands, much like a compass to magnetic north. But essence is chaotic by nature. As you saw with your own eyes, imposing order on chaos is not without risk. Indeed. Don't get me wrong, this invention is a small miracle, but it isn't enough. The phantasmal focus was supposed to be the start of something grand. One lever of a device that exists only in theory. Perhaps it should remain that way. Pleasant dreams. I wish you could have seen Emerald Stair in better times.
What was it like? I've only passed through a few times over the years.
The evenings were cool. Fish leaped into our nets. Emerald Stair was everything.
Pleasant and abundant. Sounds like the fables old trick. Trenchers used to tell about Deadfire. Paradise.
Envoy? Hard to imagine what Giada's going through right now, with her parents and all that. I mean, I have no idea what actually happened there, but she lost her people. She'll need time to get past that. And she deserves it. Right, changing the subject. You too. I was wondering, what do souls?
I still can't believe it. Dorso was betraying her brothers-in-arms, all in the name of saving Emerald Stair. I don't know what awaits her, but I can't think of much worse than losing home. Well, yeah, but there are some lines you don't cross. Turning on your own people is one of them. You'd think that'd be an easy position to hold. But I've seen better soldiers than Dorso cross lines you can't come back from. I saw this in Rauatai's campaign in the Deadfire. You start out with purpose. You're fighting alongside your brothers and sisters, battling pirates and slavers, bringing civilization to a lawless, divided land. But then, you're breaking up villages, turning tribes against their rivals. It gets messy, fast. Empires are hungry, Envoy, and they devour their own too. Don't let your allegiances turn you into something you can't live with. And troubling. What was it she said? The Steel Garrote will ensure the safety of Adiran interests? They aren't going to make you any friends, that's for sure. Stay sharp. A storm's brewing. And better if we can find it before it finds us. Nudge me if you hear anything in the woods. You know, I've heard dueling is popular in the Valian republics. You wouldn't think a public argument could feel as brutal, but I'll be damned if Giada didn't draw blood.
What can I say? I do my best work under pressure.
Believe me, I meant that as a compliment.
Not to mention willfully obtuse.
Living Landers can be contrarian and combative. That's what sends a lot of us here in the first place. But it's still hard to swim against the tide with your own people, especially when it means getting them to face a hard truth. You seem to have turned out okay. You and Giada, come to think of it. She knows who she is and what she believes. She's got more clarity and conviction than I had at her age.
She has more clarity than you have now.
Hey, I am a willing victim of my own delusions.
Sometimes that just makes it easier.
Hey, don't worry. We're talking about Giada's situation.
Right. Wait, what did you think I was talking about?
Anyway, this probably isn't how you wanted to start a new adventure, but we're glad to have you with us.
Thank you, Kai. The circumstances could be better, but it helps to be among friends.
Anytime.
You were with the envoy when they died. Did you notice anything strange?
Strange how? Besides the part where he came back,
Disembodied voices, otherworldly visions, anything like that.
Nope. Just lots of blood and lots of shouting.
I'm trying to research near-death experiences. And as usual, I have to do everything myself.
I'm sorry, what madness are we planning now?
Don't worry. Hypothetically, anything I do will be in a lab environment with plenty of supervision.
Just remember to make good with your gods before you do.
Good thinking. I wouldn't want to meet the gods unprepared. I can't believe it. Ranger Dorsal, a traitor to Fior Messiverno. At least she isn't our problem anymore. My people let nature judge the turncoats. Always have. Rarely, and only when their guilt is certain. Exile in the living lands is not the worst fate a criminal can suffer, but it's close, and always deserved. Still, it's a shame. Dorso gave up on the dream of Fior Messiverno, blamed animancers for the problems we tried to solve, and I hate to see anyone lose hope. That's all for now. Let me know if there's anything else. Go. Let me think. Sorry to disappoint you, but I haven't heard anything new of late. Being an outcast means being out of the loop. You too. Marius, what do you know about snake bites?
All there is to know. What bit you?
I don't know. It just slithered out of my bedroll.
Listen to me, this is very important. Was its head flat or round?
Hard to say. Kind of star-shaped?
Okay. After it bit you, did it hold on or let go?
It held on and left a bruise in the shape of an eye.
You're in luck. That's an onlooker worm snake. Harmless, though legend says they're emissaries of Wow.
Wow. The god of mysteries and illusions sent me a snake?
Be glad it wasn't a shimmering dream beast. Those are nasty.
Well, the venom won't kill you, but you'll have some interesting nightmares.
Nightmares I can deal with. But I wonder what it all means. Oh well. Perhaps I'm not meant to know. Thank you, Marius. I feel a lot better.
Don't mention it.
Between the two of us, thank you for helping Yatsli reach that vase. Maybe it seems like nothing to you, but to her it's everything. When you consider how many Orlans and dwarves there are, it's outrageous that we build so high off the ground. What a pain. Don't let her size fool you. On the inside, Yatsli stands as tall as a mountain. One of these days she's going to change the world, shake things up. And I'll be at her side, grinning like a fool. Anyway, thanks again. Thanks for talking.
Did they not glow in the light? Her parents, her sentinels. To grow and flourish still, life without rot, form without death. The lake dries. Prune the bellflowers. Why should anything wilt? Endless spring. They breathe, they flower, they will never fade. Is the acorn not beloved of the oak? We merely ponder. They sing in peace. Was it not worth the change? Do we not? The bear would have spent its days in the wood. They are strong now, vibrant, better than their frail shells. More than alive, no suffering, no end. Sleep now, dream of beauty and new life. We will speak soon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Land itself is rich. With essence. You can feel it. Under my protection! Come on! Come on! Dodge this!
Glad that's over. Let's go.
Protect the outward! On your right!
On your right.
You won't get through this!
Seek!
Well, that's the least I should. J